Okay, so apparently now it's okay to come out and say that, there's a lot of shit going on at Marvel. Apparently now it's okay because with all the pushback that they have been getting as of late, they've been having to do some changes. Things are being shut down, things are being turned, all kind of stuff. And there's a report come out in regards to a Marvel executive being canned over how badly the Blade movie apparently was actually going to be. In my regard, it's still going to be awful no matter what they do. But I want to go into what exactly the information is and how I believe that this is just people trying to save face because everybody pretty much, in my opinion, knew exactly what was going on. Let's go on with this. Marvel exec behind Blade reportedly fired because he didn't sound the alarm on film's abysmal direction. It's one of the few times that anyone has actually ever heard Kevin Feige yell at someone. Okay, so you fired this Marvel exec because apparently he didn't go and tell you all how bad this Blade movie was actually going to be. I think that's crap. Because if you look at all the movies and TV shows that Marvel/MCU has been putting out lately, there has been no oversight on anything, no quality control, nothing. Absolute god-awful mess after god-awful mess. And they've been acting like you're supposed to love this. But now, all of a sudden, it's suddenly some things are so bad that you can't possibly even consider putting them out. Look at Daredevil. They cancelled that and I said they want to go back to it because the project was so awful they couldn't do it. These are the same people who put out She-Hulk, an actual series that I reviewed every episode for. God help me for having done that, but the Lord gave me the strength to get through it. But a series that was so bad that the writers and producers for this series actually came out and admitted that they intentionally would sit down and laugh about how their show was mocking the fans, and there was not a damn thing anybody could do about it. One terrible show after the other, Ms. Marvel, Hawkeye, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Thor, Love and Thunder, Ant-Man, all these shows that they have also really come out, it's been terrible. And you said nothing about them, but now all of a sudden, Blade is apparently so awful, heads need to roll. You're right. In a development which, if true, would be one of the most surprising things to come out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in recent memory, a new report has claimed that the Marvel executive responsible for the Blade reboot has been sacked for intentionally lying to studio boss Kevin Feige about just how truly disastrous the film was shaping up to be. I want to know exactly what lies this person would have been telling Kevin Feige, because people may want to blame Kevin Feige or say that he can't. He can't be blamed because he can't be overseeing everything. But whether you blame or not blame, there are people, including Kevin Feige, whose job it is to oversee these movies and things. And they have just been writing blank checks and giving it to people to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to produce garbage. That's what they've been doing. Spending hundreds of millions of dollars to produce garbage with no oversight. But now all of a sudden, it's a problem. I think that's crap. I think somebody's trying to cover their ass. The word that the Daywalker's next cinematic outing would be anything but quality had been raised over the past year by multiple scoopers, it was brought to more widespread attention courtesy of Variety's Tatiana Siegel, who in a recent Crisis at Marvel expose detailed how, as public criticism mounts, Feige is pulling the plug on scripts and projects that aren't working. Case in point, the Blade reboot. With Mahershala Ali signed on for the eponymous role of a vampire, things look promising for a 2023 release date. But the project has gone through at least 5 writers, 2 directors, and 1 shutdown 6 weeks before production. One person familiar with the script permutation says that the story at one point morphed into a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons. Blade was relegated to the 4th lead, a bizarre idea considering that the studio had 2-time Oscar winner Ali on board. I would believe that. That this script morphed into a narrative led by women, because that is what they have been doing. So why wouldn't somebody push it to the extreme? Because we didn't even tell people they could do it. They're not going to stop. And it was in light of this supposed revelation that the independent film reporter Jeff Snyder would make a discovery of his own. Speaking to the topic of Blade during the November 1st episode of his and film critic John Ruha's The Hot Mic live show, Snyder informed his co-host that while he was unsure if Siegel's description of the film's current state was 100% accurate, he was aware that the executive who is working on Blade basically tried to obscure what was going to be in this draft from the film's writer. He either tried to intentionally obfuscate what the draft was going to entail. Another source put it as he didn't sound the alarm on the process and what trouble the project was in. To this end, the reporter then divulged, and they've been, I'm told, that he was fired. Another source said it was a parting of the ways. Snyder noted, I push back against that because I'm like, who leaves Marvel, right? It's the dream job for most geek executives. I don't think a lot of people are leaving on their own accord. Well, they had to get rid of one just a little while ago, but that settled out of court and she's swimming in money now. He further detailed how my source said, and how Marvel didn't comment on anything like this, but they said it's one of the few times that anyone had actually ever heard Kevin Feige yell at someone. That was the quote. We could change that to raised voice, but it was one of the few times that this individual had heard Kevin Feige ever raise his voice. Drawing his scoop to a close, Snyder asserted, so the executive on Blade, who I'm not going to name, you can maybe figure out who it is no longer with Marvel, and that is confirmed. Returning to the now former Marvel executive's exit following a brief discussion regarding the state of Blade's ongoing rehab, Snyder further detailed, it was interesting, about that executive. I called Marvel and asked to speak with the executive before going on the air with this story. And the person who answered the phone said he's no longer with the company. And then they were like, oh wait, actually he's working somewhere else from a different location. And I was like, that was a weird thing to say. I gave that person a chance to comment and I just haven't heard back prior to going on here. Yeah, so the thing about it is, this part where they talk about Kevin Feige having raised his voice, maybe he saw it and he was like, well, this is absolutely terrible. Why didn't you say something? But again, you have to take some blame here, Kevin Feige, because you and the rest of your cohorts at the MCU have been pushing this agenda and telling people, listen, you could go out and make these crap decisions, make these terrible films, and everybody is supposed to love it. So when these films go as fully woke as possible and try to push this female narrative and relegate the male lead that people actually enjoy to the background, what were you really expecting? That somebody was going to come out and say, well, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for killing this franchise. And we cannot be more happy to know that you were out there happy and content with destroying this. So it boils down to the fact that Blade is pretty much and destroyed franchise. They want to push his daughter to the front. And like I said before, I'll say again, I don't care what anybody says. No matter what they try to rewrite this and change it and figure it, their intention at the end of the day is to have his daughter take over and possibly have Blade go to the, retirement home for vampire hunters or something and figure that's going to be good enough. This isn't a train wreck, but it's what it is. It's what they're doing, and they keep destroying it and then acting like, if everybody's supposed to love them for it. At this point, why not just burn the money and be done with it? That would literally be probably the best thing you could do with it. Let's shut down this production and walk away. But they can't do that because they need to continue to destroy everything. Your thoughts on this in the comments. Have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, go to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell if you remember a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.